Okay, so John Perry here. Thanks so much for checking in. I'm going to do an updated version of our 12-minute listing presentation because we added the pages for our RealVitalize program and also added a page to talk about specifically our home-based insight report for ongoing communication with the sellers. So setting the stage again, we're at a listing appointment where we had run into somebody and asked them simply for 15 minutes. And if they would give us 15 minutes to tell them what we do differently than everybody else in our marketplace, that if it didn't make great business sense to them at the end of that 15 minutes, we would be simply okay if they asked us to leave. So we're now sitting at this listing appointment. It's a Wednesday evening, and we're gonna talk through exactly what we do in our marketing with our 12-minute listing presentation for Listing Concierge. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, our company has been #1 residential real estate company for the last 22 years, and what we find is most of the clients don't really care that we've been #1 for 22 years, but what they do want to know is, why have we been #1 for 22 years? And it really starts with our comprehensive marketing plan. So as we're going through this marketing plan, I'm going to touch on every single thing that we're going to do to make sure your house has the maximum amount of exposure that it needs to really get it sold in the fastest amount of time for the top dollar that we can get for it. It really all starts with us with professional, high-grade magazine quality photos. We're gonna have those photos taken, including a twilight photo of your house, where they really transform the outside to make it look right at twilight and dusk, just to catch the eyes of people when they're looking online. We're gonna take those photos, we're gonna use them in a bunch of different ways, both in print and in digital advertising. First of which is we're going to create our own individualized website for this property. Now what that's going to do is we're going to use it in a bunch of different avenues, such as social media advertising. You're going to be able to share it. We're going to have some other video links to be able to share as well with that property, and I'm going to actually come back to this and show you exactly what that looks like in just a little while using your own cell phone. After we've created that website, we're going to also have our studio create a YouTube video about your house. YouTube happens to be one of the highest trafficked websites in the world right now, and so we want to take advantage of that. We actually have a channel in Pittsburgh called At Home in Pittsburgh. We're going to feature your house on that At Home in Pittsburgh with professional narration, featuring all the great aspects of your house after we do a write-up together about what it is that is really going to stand out about this property. We're also going to do high quality brochures. Now, you've probably seen flyers and stuff of other properties, but I'm talking about really great brochures so that as clients come into the house with their agents and they're looking at the property, we want them to have something tangible to hold with them to remember all the great features of that house. So that kind of looks this way. I'll give you your choice. We do have an 8x8 size, which is really handy, like fits in the hand really well, stands out because it's just a different size. Really all the great features and that photography about the house, or we can go with an 11x14. We can also choose either high gloss or matte finish on either one of those brochures. But at the end of the day, we want to just make sure that people have all the aspects that they need to know about your property to really understand that when they're back sitting and debating about what are they going to do on an offer of the house, they can remember all the great things, the great kitchen, the great living room, the outdoor space, whatever was featured about your house. We're going to make sure that they have the ability to see that again. And I'll let you choose which one of those brochures you would like to feature your house on best. I did tell you I'm going to have you use your cell phone, and in just a second I'm going to have you pull that out. But what we've done is we've created a sign writer coupled with some really great technology that allows us to capture information from buyers while giving them information about your house. And what that looks like is there's a sign writer. We don't use the boxes. If you remember the old style boxes we would put in the ground with flyers them in the yard, and the flyers would get thrown all over the place, or the neighborhood kids would put gum in the box. We don't use those anymore. But what we do is we have this digital sign writer on your listing sign in your front yard. When somebody drives by the property, if they're interested in information about that, they can simply text a number and they'll get information back. So go ahead and pull your cell phone out. And in the line where you would type the person's name that you would normally type their name to say, hey, I want to send this to John, you're going to type 35620. You don't have to put any dashes in, but it's 35620. And in the line where you would type your message, doesn't have to be capitalized, but no spaces, type the word demo 107207. That's demo 107-207, and then hit send. Now, you're gonna get 2 text messages back when you do that. The first one is a brief description about the house. How many bedrooms and bathrooms? What's the price of the house? Who's the listing agent? And contact information for the listing agent. The second text message has a link to that individualized website that we talked about earlier. Now, that individualized website is able to be clicked on. You can go through all that great photography that has been placed in, that we did and paid for that high magazine grade quality photos, so that they can see all the features of the house. But more importantly, the moment they send that text message, I, your listing agent, will receive a text message with their cell phone number. So I can reach out to them immediately and ask them if they have any additional questions, but more importantly, when I can actually get them into the house. It's really important to make sure that we capture their attention, especially in today's day and age, as quickly as possible. So that technology allows us to do that. We're also going to send out a notification to my entire professional and personal database that I've collected over the years that I've been in the industry. So I'm gonna make sure every single person knows that your house is on the market. And by the way, if you have a database of people that you would like to try to help notify other people that your house is on the market, if you'd simply give me their names and email addresses, I can add them to that e-marketing blast to let them know that this house is on the market, and that if they have anybody that would like to live in this house, then they can definitely get them in front of this property as quickly as possible. We're also going to send out mailers. We do still believe in mail. It works really effectively to really help people, especially in the area. What we find is a lot of times people that have been in neighborhoods will target certain neighborhoods. They want to move in there. So we're going to send out what we call our silver envelope just listed mailer. Now, you've probably seen postcards in the past of mailers. Postcards are nice, they do okay, but you know, this would be a postcard for just listed. Postcards are okay, but what we find is most people open their mail right over top of the trash can and they throw the postcard right into the trash. So what we've done is we've created what we call the silver envelope mailer. Now, you can see it has an actual stamp on it. It actually has printing of a name on it. It does not say Coldwell Banker on it, because we want this to look a lot like an invitation or a birthday card or something that people are going to be compelled to open, because when they open it, that's when really the marketing wins. And instead of just that postcard on a house, we have actually a full trifold brochure on this property, again featuring all that great information about your house and really all the great photography, so that the people in the area receiving this, because we're going to blast the area around your house with this notification, know that your house is on the market, and if they know somebody that are looking to sell their house, they can help direct those people, because those people are going to be compelled to want to come see things after they're opening something like this. We're also very, very big on working with every single local realtor that we can. At the end of the day, we want your house to sell as quickly as possible for the top dollar, and that means we want to expose it to everybody possible. So we've actually compiled a database of all more than 7,500 realtors that are in the Pittsburgh area, everybody that's a member of the West Penn Multi-List. And when we list your house using this system, we notify every one of those realtors as well to let them know your house is on the market, so that if they have clients that are looking, they can make sure their clients know that the house is on the market as well. Now, this brand new system that we have called RealVitalize, which is powered by a partnership that we have with Home Advisor, really does 2 different things for you. One, if we need to do anything to the house to get it in show-ready status, we can actually allow you to have a cost-free, no lien, no interest loan up front to do work to your house that doesn't have to be prepaid till closing. But even more importantly, we can register for this program, because one of the #1 reasons that a house sale falls apart is because of inspection issues. So what we want to do is we want to register this program to allow you the ability to have any issues that come up during the home inspection to possibly be able to be covered by Home Advisor contractors to hold our deal together to make sure that we get to closing. So there's several different ways that we can use this to your advantage to make sure that we get your house sold. Now, National Association of Realtors says that more than 96% of all buyers find their house online nowadays. And I think we can all agree to that. So if that were the case, then that means exposure is really key to getting your house sold, especially with an online exposure. So what we've done is we've taken and we've aggregated out to more than any other company when it comes to websites. Our closest competitor in this area is well under 100 websites at around 77, and everybody else is on less than that. Our focus is so much on making sure that your house is seen by every possible buyer that it can be, that we actually put our listings out on over 700 websites to make sure you have the exposure that you need, including all of those major real estate websites like Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor.com. We also have a proprietary software called CBX. Now what CBX does for us is a few things that's really important. One, it identifies what our buyers are looking like. What's the demographic of the household? What's the age? How many kids do they have? What's their average income for their household? And what's their commute time to work? But the second thing that it does, which I find even more important, is that it actually identifies where the buyers are coming from. So it'll give us a list of the top zip codes that people are moving from and into your area. So we know, based on all the statistics, where people have moved from in the last few years to move and buy in this zip code where your house is sitting currently, so that we can do targeted marketing towards those people to make sure we have the exposure where the exposure is needed. And what we do is we use that in a way that we leverage that data along with some Google Analytics to do targeted social media and online advertising. Now we're gonna run a campaign that's gonna, if you've ever shopped for a vacuum or shoes, and then the next thing you know, it's popping up and following you on all those websites and on all your social media. We're gonna do the same thing with your house. We're gonna make sure that the people that are looking for homes in your area that are geographically or within these target ranges are seeing your ad for your home over and over and over again. And again, more importantly, we're able to capture information that nobody else can. So what we do is we run this campaign, and throughout the running of the campaign, anybody that opens the link to your house that wants more information about it, it captures their name and their email address and sends that to me so that I have the ability to reach out to them to see if they have any additional questions, or more importantly, if they're ready to come view your home. Now, we make you a bunch of promises about the advertising that we're going to do for your home, but it's not just a promise for us, it's not empty. We're gonna follow through by sending you a report that says, here is all the things that we've done. It's gonna have links to your websites. It's gonna have links to your YouTube video. It's gonna have links to all the social media ad content. We're gonna make sure that you're seeing your social media ad content when those ads are going out. And then more importantly than even that is we're gonna make a commitment to do ongoing communication with you on a weekly basis. So every Monday we get a report. It's called our Home Base Insight Report. And what that does is it actually tracks all the data from those 700 websites and how many people have actually clicked on those websites in a week. Now we've boiled it down. It's not an exact science, but what we've found is that about every 300 to 500 online views should equal about 1 to 3 views in person, and every 3 to 5 views should equal an offer in your hand. Now, we know that if we have either of those metrics out of balance and we're not getting the offers that we want, that we might need to have a different discussion, because we'll know for sure that the marketing is working because we're the only company that tracks the marketing in this way to make sure you're getting the exposure that you need to get on a weekly basis. So that's the reason why we've been #1 for 22 straight years. The only question I have for you is, would you like me to continue and go through the rest of the information that I brought with me tonight that specifically details what the area has been doing in the market and specifically the comps for your home?